Hi, I'm Healing Means. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a Backyard Shenanigans video. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see we are outside on the Backyard Shenanigans back patio. I have my stuff pre-set up for the video today, and I'm going to be potting up some grape cuttings. I received 3 varieties of grape cuttings maybe about 3 or 4 days ago. I had them in the refrigerator until I was able to come out and do this video and set everything up, and so now we are here. I have these 1-gallon pots that I have prepared with soil, vermiculite, perlite, some of my fertilizers. I did my root vegetables, which has the Dr. Herb Pure Gold 222, azomite, trace minerals, gypsum, which is 12% sulfur and 15% calcium, and the espoma bone meal, which is a 412 0 NPK. I also put a little bit of my leafy greens and brassica fertilizer. This has the Dr. Herb Pure Gold 222 fertilizer, the azomite. This has the Wakefield Organic Wood Biochar. And then it has the VEGO Organic Blood Meal, which is a 1200. I wasn't paying attention that they already had biochar in the mix, so I added a couple scoops of biochar. I also put in a little bit of this cottonseed meal, and like I said, vermiculite and perlite. And this is basically re-sifted and reused soil that was already in these containers. So I sifted it out. I put the larger pieces at the bottom of the pot and then the finer soil up at the top. Now, the 3 varieties of grape cuttings I have, this is atoka, and you'll see for each one I shaved off the bottom couple inches. That was the directions and guidance that I was given to cut off or to shave off the bark, like down to the cambium layer, like the green. That way I know it's still alive, it's good. But to expose this and to dip it in some root hormone. And what I do is I always take some out of this and I put it in a smaller container, because I don't want to double dip. I don't want to dip something into the main container and possibly, you know, just get that contaminated. So I always put a separate container, and all you need is a little bit. So I'll dip that and then put it in these pots. This one is keuka and I have 2 of these. It's kind of long. I have 2 of these, and then I have Everest, which is these 2. Now, I was told that Everest is a very prolific grape plant, but it needs to be grafted onto another grape. Let me see if I could get these to sprout and live and survive, and then I'll worry about grafting them on, because like that's the next step, y'all, and I ain't ready yet. I have my little popsicle sticks. I didn't want to use any of my plastic labels, because if the grape plants, if these cuttings don't make it, I don't want to have to like wipe off the name tag and stuff or whatever. So like I said, I have 2 for the atoka. I have 2 for the keuka, and then I have 2 for the Everest. Now, I did dampen these down. I did dampen the edge down with a little bit of water. I have my hose pipe right here, and I'm gonna just dampen it a little bit more. And y'all, I had to close the pool, put the pool cover on the pool because the pigeons like to drink the water out the pool. Why, y'all? But they do. The mycorrhiza, I have this, so what I want to do is make like a small hole. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of this in there, then dip the bottoms into the root hormone and then put it in. I also have some earthworms in here. Let me just put a small layer of just water, just a little bit. And this will help me when I'm making my holes, hopefully that the soil will kind of stay put. All right. Now let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I don't have to go all the way down. I just want to just kind of make a little indent. And then I do have containers with some extra soil in case I need that. Now something else I also got was some Spice Z nectar plum cuttings. And if you know, I already have a Spice Z nectar plum tree, but I didn't want to use any branches from off of my trees because my nectar plum and my peach tree are very young, and so I didn't want to take any cuttings off of them. So I have these Spice Z nectar plum cuttings. I think I have 4 or 5 of them, and I'm actually going to try to graft them onto my peach tree. And we'll see if that takes, because they're both stone fruit, so I can graft them onto each other. Next weekend there's a Scion exchange, and I'm hoping to bring some cuttings from my mini royal cherry tree and swap them for some apple Scions. I'm looking specifically for Anna, Pink Lady, and it's one other one, y'all. I'm gonna try it again because you know the first time that I tried to do the grafting, y'all, it was like 100% fail, 100%. But you know, we gonna try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. I thought I had a scoop for this. I don't think I do, but I just have this little scoop. And you don't need a lot of this. Like a little bit goes a long way. Just a light dusting. And see, that was barely like half a scoop. Not even half a scoop. And that was enough for all of these pots. All right, and I'm gonna put this in here. That way I'll have a scoop in there in the future. I'm gonna start with the atoka, and I haven't done a lot of research on these grape varieties, so I can't tell y'all nothing about them, but I'm gonna look them up and I'll be able to say something later on. Like if they survive and take, then I'll do more research on them. So like I said, I'm just gonna dip this in, and this is the rooting hormone, and we don't need a lot, but I do need to get this on more than just this exact bottom. I want to get it on like um the whole length of the exposed area if I can, and just kind of spread it, around, and just kind of cover that whole area. And I learned this a while ago to put the rooting hormone on the plant, on the cutting or whatever, and don't just sprinkle it in there, because when you stick the cutting down in the soil, the rooting hormone, you know, gets knocked off, is nowhere to be found, it gets switched around, and you want it to be concentrated on the thing. Y'all look, and I'm spilling this. Now y'all know I'm gonna try to scoop this up. All right, so here it is. This is my first one. This is the atoka, and I'm just gonna stick this down in here, not all the way down to the bottom, but a good little ways. Pack this in. Pack this in, and then I can add some more soil to the top once I get all of them in there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I could take this stick, scoop this in, and because I wet this exposed area, it helps the rooting hormone to stick, which is exactly what I want. And I try to scrape off enough of the outer layer to where I have at least one node, like this is a node, down in the soil, and this will help to develop the roots. And like I said, I will come back and add extra soil. Next, I'm gonna do the keuka. And see, I have the bottoms exposed. I dampened them already. Y'all, if this works, if these cuttings take, I'm gonna be so happy, y'all. I'm gonna be so happy. Just making sure I get the powder all the way on it. And like I said, I'll show you this this particular one. I scraped the bark off up to 2 nodes. So this one has a node on each side. You see that this is a node and that's a node, and that will go down here in the soil. Close this up, kind of pack it in to help the cutting stand straight up. Alright, this one. And here's the other keuka. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, y'all. If I'm not and somebody knows the correct pronunciation, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Y'all, I'm always trying something new. I like experimenting in the garden. I've been gardening for a very long time, so I'm beyond the basics, and that is a good segue to tell you about the live stream. Joy and I, Joy of the Garden at Home, we started doing our live streams again, and we just did one last Monday. So next Monday we'll have another one coming up. It'll be on Joy's channel, so make sure you check out her channel for the details. We had it on Mondays, but I think we might be changing the date and the time, so check out her channel to get the details for the next live stream. And with that live stream, we call it Gardening Plus, because we kind of moving beyond the beginner basics of gardening into more intermediate and advanced aspects of gardening. We are not gurus or pros or anything like that, but both of us have been gardening for many years, and so we just want to cater to an audience that's, you know, possibly beyond the basics. So all right, this is the last one, and come on, rubber band. All right, this is the Everest grape, and you can see I have one note here. So I will paint this with the powder, or dust it with the powder, making sure I cover as much of the exposed area as possible. Now, rooting hormone will support you know, the process of the cutting, you know, taking, developing roots and growing, but it does not guarantee. So it's possible that I could have success with these cuttings without using the rooting hormone, but because it was recommended by the person who gave me the cuttings to use the rooting hormone, and because I already had it, that's why I'm going ahead and using it. All right, Everest, and this is the last one, and this one has two nodes, this one and this one. Let's get this on here, and y'all know I'm gonna save this extra rooting hormone that I have. I'm not gonna pour it back in the main container, but I'm gonna leave it in this container, and I have a lid so I don't have to worry about it spilling or falling out or anything like that, and I'll just save it for the next time that I need rooting hormone for anything. Possibly when I do the grafting on my peach tree. All right, just trying to make sure this covers, you know, a good area. Putting this down here and all right, now I don't think I'm gonna add any more soil at this time. I'm just gonna water this in, and let's just see how it goes. I'm probably gonna leave, I think I'm gonna leave these right here so I can keep an eye on them, keep a close eye on them. All right, and this is the other Everest. It's a top, because look, I still have a lot left, but I have a top to put on this. I can put this aside. I just had a paper towel to put the names of it on there so I could differentiate between the three. And then I think I had, yeah, this piece of tape for this one. So that's all labeled. And I'm just gonna water this in. And I'm gonna leave them on this green mat, and the green mat will collect any excess water and just leave it in place. And I want to water these in real well. So I water them. I let the water seep all the way through down to the bottom, and then I water them again. Y'all, and I did use my, what is it, the long nib markers. I did use that on this wood, and it's doing well. Like, I don't see it bleeding. The colors are not bleeding. I specifically, you know, like watered right over the sign on purpose. And they seem to be holding up well. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are my 6 grape cuttings. So I have 2 atoka, 2 keuka, and then 2 everest. And this is what they look like now. You know, bone dry, dead sticks. But I know they're still alive because when I scraped away the outer bark, I had the green cambium layer, so I know it's still alive. So this is what I have right here. Oh wait, hold on, let me show you my other grapes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are my 2 grape plants that I really still need to repot and put them over there on my 15-gallon bucket stand. So I'm still trying to figure out with this trellising. See how I have this set up over here and this set up over here, and what I want to do is put this ladder mesh up against the wall and across, so the grapevines will have something to grow up. But y'all, they done started without me. They done woke up. They are growing little grape bunches. Now I was supposed to take that one off, and now I think they have another grape bunch. And see, I thought that one of these grape plants was dead. I believe this is the Thompson seedless, and this is the Mars. Or it might be the other way around. I'll know when the grapes form. But as you can see, they are very tall and growing, and I really need to get them potted up, y'all, like quick. I got 2 more Folgers containers, and this is what I have been putting all of my fertilizers and amendments and stuff in. And so now that I have these containers, I can take my leafy green brassica fertilizer mix and my root vegetables fertilizer mix and put them in these Folger containers. That way everything is matching inside of my shed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for this video. Please remember to subscribe to my channel. Click that notifications bell. Make sure it is set to all. Like, comment, and share with everyone you know. And until next time, be safe, be well, and be blessed.